Hello to the channel. Welcome back, everyone. Got a huge mid-weekend coming. So hope everybody's looking forward to it. Champions League's back. New format. Lots of games. Can't wait personally. Obviously been a really good start to the season, being a Celtic fan as well, winning to nil and everything. So can't complain about that at all. So got the Mbappe competition on the go at the moment. I'm going to do the overall preview, but before we have a look at the preview, I just want to have a quick look at the prize pools again for midweek because I'm dreaming already. Dreaming of a Celtic home win and yeah, all that juicy sort of cash that's been paid out. So first and foremost, we do have Challenger Open etc. here as well, so that's good. Lots of games in MLS and everything. We'll come back to that in a wee minute as well. We've got the under 23s opened, which is also good. For some reason, every time I get myself up here on the screen, you can do this, that's fine. I was going to say I'm going to have to go to discover new competitions, but if not, I've got a wee filter bar here now as well. So, right, let's have a look at these cash prizes. Unbelievable, honestly. I mean, $3,000 for first, $2,000 for second, $1,400 for third. It's even four figures for top four and limited. And not only that, you're also getting a star as well. Now, remember, these star prizes are not just normal all-star prizes. These are Star Champions League prizes. So, Lamine Yamal, Haaland, Mbappe, Courtois, Raya. I mean, these are all the Champions League players, right? Joey Veerman's still a good one to get these days. So, just absolutely jam-packed with quality, which is brilliant. If you have a look at rare, so we're talking about $7,000 for first and a star. I will be entering the super rare one, so let's just keep dreaming. $8,000 for first. We've got $1,000 down to top four, and then we've got 7 paid. So obviously a bit shallower, but it's in season as well. Now I know what people are going to say about the in-season side of things. I get that. Obviously, you need the 4 in-season cards, but I mean the prizes are unreal. They really are unreal. Even if you've got your limited sort of Celtic 5 guys out or whatever, there's been plenty of people beat me this weekend anyway, like on the Celtic lineups and things. I know I've done pretty well, but forwards haven't fired, and some people with 2 defenders have beat me in loads of lineups. So, just a chance to win really big, which is great. So, fair play. I'm not going to pull it up on the screen just now mainly because I'm in the way of the button, but there is a Classic Champions League competition and an All-Star as well. So, if you've got your Classic cards, you can still play for those Champions League stars. There's no cash in it, but you can still play for stars. And I think that's, nearing the balance. We've talked about that over and over and over, so we're not going to go back there, but I just think that it's awesome. So anyway, let's do the overall preview of midweek, and then after we've done that, we will have a look at the Celtic lineup as well. We've got the Celtic top on, the Celtic top's in the background, just talk about Celtic all the time. It's brilliant, isn't it? Sorry if you're a Rangers fan and you're watching or whatever. So, midweek, Champions League competition. I'm just going to go through all the fixtures because, it's pretty obvious what the main ones are. The Champions League ones are up top. So, Bayern Munich against Dynamo Zagreb. Sorry if Michael Mila is watching this. If you are, hello mate. Tough game against Bayern Munich. I mean, there's no doubt about it. It's pretty tough. But there we go. That's Champions League. It's high quality teams. So they scored a lot of goals at the weekend against Holstein Kiel as well. So that's a pretty frightening proposition if you're going away being Dynamo. Dynamo got some good players as well, but it's Bayern Munich, right? So that's not surprising. 2.98 XG. So if anyone's kind of new to this, it's like expected goals. So nearly 3 expected goals and a 54% chance of clean sheets. Pretty high. Real Madrid against Stuttgart. Well, Real Madrid 1-0 again and a 1-0. I'm just not good at picking Real Madrid lineups by the looks of it. It has been quite hard because obviously Bellingham's been out, Tchouameni's been out, so they're 2 of the midfielders. I had played Modric, thought that he would score a bit better and he didn't. But anyway, 2.6 XG, 43% clean sheet percentage, a wee bit lower. I think Stuttgart are a sort of dangerous team as well, but it's a Real Madrid night in the Bernabeu, so could be a wee bit of magic there. 20 against Heerenveen, not being the Champions League fixture, but Heerenveen just get absolutely bashed up by AZ, so if you're playing Challenger, that is an interesting one. Also get Ajax against Fortuna Sittard as well, so pretty good fixture for Ajax. Pretty similar stats there, 2.2 XG, 40% clean sheet percentage. Seattle Sounders are above Celtic. I've got my Seattle Sounders rare stack, I've got my Seattle Sounders limited stack. We'll maybe come back to that, we'll pick that for a bit of fun on the channel as well. Needless to say, whilst we're on that topic, that Brighton to glory is just Brighton to Brighton at the moment. We're still in Brighton. That's our topic for another day. We'll come back to that next weekend, I'm sure. Celtic against Slovan Bratislava, so 2.17 XG, 48% clean sheet percentage. I don't know what to make of this. Slovan Bratislava are obviously a good team. They're in the Champions League, but it is a pretty good fixture for Celtic, being at home, big Champions League night. So we'll go through the rest of the update. We'll come back to the predicted Celtic lineup as well. LA against Austin. LAFC have been struggling a bit recently. Paris Saint-Germain against Girona is interesting. I mean, Girona just got absolutely destroyed by Barcelona. Now, Barcelona are really good this season. Like, you know, it's kind of a small part of me that's wishing I just bought a Barcelona stack, but yeah, it's just... Anyway, Real Madrid usually come good as the season goes on, but yeah, I think that's a good fixture for Paris Saint-Germain as well. You know, Girona debut in the Champions League. It's a real tough game for them. There's no two ways about it. Manchester City playing against Inter Milan. That's going to be an interesting one. Inter are usually pretty tight, so, you know, 2 XG for Man City, but, you know, we'll see. They're well capable of scoring, no doubt about that. Aston Villa against Young Boys. Well, Aston Villa have been a wee bit hit or miss this season, but I think they won 3 out of 4 games in the EPL, so Watkins firing again, pretty interesting. Again, Young Boys will probably find that quite a tough opposition against an EPL type team, and the rest of the games are all in Challenger, etc. All the information's on the screen. I'm not going to go through all of them. What else interesting? Liverpool away to AC Milan. Probably not that much chance of a clean sheet, although if there is, I'm sure Alisson will score very well. And Leverkusen at Feyenoord's an interesting one. I've seen a lot of Feyenoord last season, the Champions League. Obviously watched the game away and went to the game at Celtic Park, and Celtic beat Feyenoord, which was quite interesting. I think Leverkusen will have too much for them, but, you know, as at home, with really good atmosphere, etc. So 1.76 XG. Lucas Radecki does my box in with these clean sheets and stuff, so 31% seems quite accurate. I don't know if Kovar will get a chance at some point. That's something I'll need to look up myself. So anyways, I am in the section here on Predictorify. I better get out of the predicting section 2 minutes. So back to home, and obviously continental, we're going into the Champions League. Now, Predictorify, if you're new to this, is a paid site, so you know, if you want this information, you do usually have to pay for it, but as part of the deal, I'm quite free to talk about it on my video, so I'm not going to spend too much time going over the other ones, but if I'm using it for my lineups, then I might still show it as well. So Celtic on unbelievable form. Kasper Schmeichel has created a record. He's had 5 clean sheets in a row in the league. Nobody has ever done that. Not ever. It's a record that's stood since like the early 1900s or something stupid like that. I mean, the guy's just honestly been such a good signing. He also got 2 clean sheets in the middle of that for Denmark as well. So, you know, he has a pretty high price on Sorare, but I feel like there's no real surprise there, is there? Greg Taylor, 95%. Again, no huge surprise there. Been really good this season. Didn't really play for Scotland, so should be relatively fresh. I've got Liam Scales. I've got him a bit higher than the weekend. I don't think Trusty will get chucked in for this game. It's an interesting one because I do think Trusty's been brought in for overall pace, etc. But, you know, you do need to integrate these guys into the squad, and also Scales has had 2 good games. I think the most likely thing is that guys like Trusty, Valley, who haven't really played will get a game against Falkirk in the Cup this coming weekend, which isn't covered and so rare. Carter Vickers 95%. Well, it was a wee bit of an injury scare before last week for him because he'd left the game before in a protective boot. He looked fine. Alistair Johnson, I've got my 85%. Now, usually I have him 95%, but he did look marginally laboured this weekend. Scored really well, but he came home early from the Canada camp, and I think he was into training relatively late before the weekend. Obviously played the whole game, so I'm sure if Rodgers was really worried about him, he would have had him off probably 60 or 70 minutes, but he left him on for the whole game. So I do think he'll start here, and I think that unless Celtic are comfortable in the game, which they rarely are in a Champions League game, the likelihood is he'll play and then, will be given some rest, I think, at the weekend. Cal McGregor, again, got a rest, doesn't play with Scotland anymore, so nailed. The other two midfield slots are quite interesting. Lots of chatter about Arne Engels and Twitter and everything because the new predictions on Sorare said 0 or whatever. Not going to get into all of that here, but obviously I had him in starting, had him at 60%. There was good reasoning for that. Obviously, I hadn't started any games for Celtic yet, and look, he's taken the set pieces. He's been given the penalty. He looks like an absolute player. Matt O'Reilly's replacement all over. He really is. And even just down to the fact that he's taking the set pieces and he's taking the penalties, like just exactly Matt O'Reilly. Now, I don't know whether he'll always have as much AA as Matt O'Reilly, but he's younger than Matt O'Reilly. Years left in under 23s. I still think actually he's pretty cheap. Like he is going up. There's no two ways about it, but he's deservedly going up. Hopefully he can replicate that form. Rio Hatate usually have got it higher than 75%. Bernardo was probably a wee bit harshly done to not starting for Engels at the weekend, but look, Engels Celtic's record transfer fee ever. So, it's pretty obvious the guy's going to be playing, right? So, the reason I've got Bernardo in at 25% here is just to think Rodgers does like Bernardo in the Champions League. So, Hatate came off earlier at the weekend. Again, he was away with Japan, but never played. Just doesn't really look as if he's 100% firing at the moment. I think Hatate will start, but you can't discount the fact that Bernardo may start. In the front three, Maeda, Furuhashi and Kuhn, again, interesting. They maybe misfired, or did misfire about the weekend, hampered definitely my own teams. Furuhashi had a real big chance, which he missed. He also had a clearance off the line. Because the referee blew up for a penalty for Scales, he's not been given it, although the Scales penalty was overturned, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with Opta on review there, maybe out of jail for some teams. Nicholas Kuhn again, pretty good overall performance. The interesting thing with him is he's getting the highest AA out of all the forwards. So, it's quite hard not to pick him because he has been getting goals and assists. And Daisen Maeda is Daisen Maeda. I mean, guy's just an absolute phenomenon. He doesn't always translate into the Sorare scores, but the guy is just his pressing and everything is just absolutely incredible. So let's get back to Sorare probabilities, and we'll have a look at who's standing out here. Now, I'm now on the sheet from Miguel, S_probabilities. Again, this is a paid service, but Miguel's quite happy for me to share this information with you. This information is now been drawn down specific to the players that I own myself. So that's a really advantage I find of this. There's lots of good data sites. I really like Sorare data as well. So don't take any of the stuff I post on Twitter as if I don't like Sorare data. I've used it from the very day that I started on Sorare. It used to be free at one point, which was incredible. And I pay for it myself. So, it is really good. But what I really love about this sheet is just the detail we've got here, which is just specified to your own players. So I'm going to have a quick look at this because these lineups are really important. I'm really I'm starting early. This is Sunday night, and I want to make sure I don't make any real obvious mistakes this midweek because there's so much cash on the line. So I've got it set to All-Star at the moment, which is fine. I just want to see who I've got available. There's not much on outside Champions League anyway, just Challenger. Also on the sheet, just in case you're wondering, so PS is projected score. Egal does have some predictors as well, so you do get some start percentages here. And bonus, obviously, card bonus. you've got information like win percentages, and clean sheet percentages, whether teams are playing at home or away, any known injuries, suspensions. It's really useful this as well. The blue bit here is in-season cards, so obviously, if you were using this service, then that's quite good to know, especially if you're having to put in the four. So I love seeing Courtois up there. Obviously Real Madrid at home. Stuttgart, I'm going to be playing a Real Madrid stack as well. Kasper Schmeichel, again, no surprise up there. Alisson, a 70 away to Milan's quite interesting. I think that's just reflective of the fact that low clean sheet percentage, but he's expected, I think, to have some AA. Stefan Frey, I don't know what to do with him. I mean, Seattle play tonight. I think he's still in concussion protocol, so I'll be probably messaging Bab and seeing if he's got any intel on that. We do have, looks like Ulsan Hyundai have got a game midweek as well. That'll be an all-star offer in there because I don't think contenders opened. Joe Willis down there in 49, but actually Nashville actually put in a good performance against Atlanta away there. Had a DMP in it, so I made an ass of it. Anyway, Stefan Rostovsky is definitely not hitting 100 away at Bayern Munich. I think that's just an issue with how the last 15s work compared to obviously this is Champions League now, and it's different quality from the league. Josko Guardiol, he should be able to play, so definitely play him in the limited. Everybody say we able to play this weekend, never until he came on. Wrench is an interesting one. That'll be more for under 23s or for Challenger rather than Champions League. Hard to judge the Celtic guys. Say Bratislava a wee bit of an unknown, but I think that the way Celtic are playing should be pretty good. Michael Olise never started for Bayern at the weekend, so I hope that's not a bad sign. I mean, I guess Leroy Sané's fit now and Gnabry's been playing well and everything, so I hope that Olise gets some time against Zagreb. Carles Gil, Rusnak. Kevin De Bruyne at home, that's quite interesting, projected 80. So playing Inter Milan here, so that is quite interesting. Although you'd expect Man City to dominate the ball. Celtic players not that high in the reckoning. Ryan Gold on our 100 at the weekend, just guy is class. I'm glad I bought his rare. Not really won me much so far, but I'm glad I bought it. And then again, Jordan Morris pretty high. That's not for Champions League competition, but interesting for Challenger. And we can filter this down. But I want to this is me just doing this as I would do picking my teams. Verts still nearly up at 60 away to Feyenoord. Mbappe 57, Rodrigo 57. Messi's back. That's pretty interesting. I wonder, he played the whole game, so I'm wondering what will happen there. Will he maybe have his minutes managed again? Because they've pretty much won that sort of league format before they go into playoffs. Bellingham at 50-50, I don't know. I think he'll probably play this one. I think he'll probably play it. I mean, I think they could have had him in the squad at the weekend, and I think that in all reality, they're probably just holding him back for that Champions League game. So there we go. So first and foremost, we've got this Mbappe event. Let's pick a team for that as well, because we won't get a chance to meet Mbappe, don't we? I'm going to move myself down here because I know this isn't very professional. I should just pause it and not, but I don't edit videos or anything, guys, right? This is how I do the videos. So anyways, do I want to use one of my limited in one of these competitions? I guess I could use like a Peter Vindal or something. Probably just go quite strong. So Courtois in goals, always really scores insanely well. Defender wise, I do kind of have a wee bit of a sort of spare Liam Scales. I bought the special edition one, cost a wee bit more money, so that's kind of interesting. don't always use a Tati defender card, so I could use a Tati actually. Kind of interesting. Remember, this is a free choice, so you should just use any of the smashers here. Like, Hakimi's been like he had 100 at the weekend. Pretty interesting. Try to think who probably Upamecano against for Bayern should put in a good A as well. If I was picking it, I'll just pick it as if I was picking it, right? So it's like Hakimi, and then we'll fire in a limited at the end just to maximum it out. You see in the sheet, Kevin De Bruyne is pretty high up. I don't know. I mean, it's not the easiest of fixtures, is it? Right? Inter Milan, it's a home game. Bellingham was more nailed. We're pretty tempted on Bellingham. Rodrigo, he should be back in for that game. It's kind of interesting. Valverde's been really good recently. Musiala is a really good shout, I think. Dynamo at home. And then I think I'd probably go like Harry Kane, sinking to like what I've done in like fan team and stuff, and I really quite fancied this fixture for Bayern Munich as well. And then I guess I could just fire in a limited if I'm not going to be really sort of using it for our teams. I need to be careful here. I don't really sort of use somebody that I would be using in a cash comp or whatever, because this is just like pretty much for fun. So I'll just pick it with like another common card in here, because it is just for fun, isn't it? Right at the end of the day, there are some really good prizes, I suppose. So who else would I pick from Bayern Munich? So Harry Kane, Musiala. So you would probably just want to put in like Kimmich, shouldn't you? Like, just thinking that maybe that Bayern will just sort of outclass Dynamo. I suppose there's a wee bit of risk of rotations and stuff there as well. I love captaining Musiala, I really do, because he puts in a bit of AA. Kane probably get a few goals, so I'll go for Musiala captain. So there we go. Bayern are a bit leaky as well. I mean, that's kind of, I suppose you could just go for a full Bayern stack because there's no restrictions this competition, right? But yeah, just going to do that. So, anyways, this is the page I really like operating from. I was listening to Laird on Sorare data with Sorare. If you want any updates on things, recommend that episode. That was really good. If you follow Sorare data on YouTube. Anyways, let's get some teams in for this Champions League competition, because I say I'm really, really excited about this. So, in terms of my own players, I'm going to filter this down to super rare, because that's going to be quite important, obviously, in terms of the weekend. And this is the weekend. It's always been a long weekend because I'm talking rubbish now. Courtois at 82, that is really interesting. Courtois and Schmeichel are classic cards as well, so I think I'll probably pick a Celtic stack first. I do have a Peter Vindal, so if I want to run some other competitions, I've got an Alisson, which is a really nice position to be in. But I think I'm going to go Schmeichel and Courtois in this competition. So Kasper Schmeichel first. You do need 4 in seasons, so I'm just going to filter now, obviously. No point really considering the other options so much. So in terms of projected scores, Johnson Vickers pretty similar, to be honest. It's interesting because I don't really know as much about Bratislava. Celtic probably will be getting forward. I imagine they'll have a bit of quality about them. Probably want to split Johnson and Vickers into 2 teams. Put in one with Courtois. So I think I'll probably go with Johnson in this one. Midfield wise, I'm going with Arnie. I know that's probably a bit of a risk, but on pens, on set pieces, home fixture. There we go. That's the explanation. Nicholas Kuhn. Double defence kind of quite tempting here as well. But again, let's say probably, maybe it's not optimal as that word that everybody uses, but I'm going to play Vickers in the other one, I think. And obviously got Hatate and Furuhashi, etc. playing the other one as well. I think I'm going to go with Callum McGregor. I mean, home game should dominate the ball a lot. In terms of peak scores, I think McGregor's been getting goals, but usually he's more of a guy who gets averages. Ignore this 42 because that's not really representative, I don't think, for Engels. So in terms of the captain, I'm kind of between Johnson and Engels. It's a tough one, but I think Engels is more likely to get a decisive in terms of goal or assist. So he did get the penalty at the weekend. I love the look of those cards by Wales. I know I've said it loads of times, so I'm not just blowing wind up Sorare's ass. Like, I really do love the look of those cards. Like, I just think Sorare have just smashed it with the cards, honestly. Now what we're going to do is we're going to have a Real Madrid goalkeeper in with a Celtic stick. That's fun, isn't it? That is really fun. So Courtois, Cameron Carter-Vickers. We've only really got Hatate as a midfield option left now because we need to play the 4, which I understand why Sorare have done that. Furuhashi, and then who have we got left? So we're going to go with Furu, and it's going to be Maeda, which don't mind. In terms of captain, I think I'm going to go with Carter Vickers. Interesting one. I guess I could go double defence in the other one, but then I don't have any other in-season defenders, so I can't go double defence because Courtois is not in season. I'm going for a strong Celtic performance. Could easily go for a captain somebody else here. I mean, Maeda might do some AA as well, just harassing somebody. But, well, not somebody, probably harassing the whole of the other team, because that's what he does. Right, so into Rare. Do we have a Champions League filter here? Don't think we do. Although we do have a champion filter, but that's going to filter out Celtic, etc. So that's fine. We'll just leave it as All-Star at the moment anyway. So we know the Champions League teams. Nearly sneezed up. Right. So as I said, want to spend a bit of time going through this. It's a really, really important big game week coming up. So we're going to go right down to the limited. Also, I think I'm going to give a bit of priority to this competition. I mean, there is under 23s opened, etc. There's only 1-star rare there, and you've got a Classic Champions League special as well. So I think it's going to be in-season Champions League Classic, other competitions. So Celtic lineup first. Kasper Schmeichel, guy has been absolutely unbelievable. Just been so good. Again, probably going to filter to the 23-24 ones, but I do have some classics here, and I might chuck in a classic. So for example, I can play like 1, so I could go with like Carter Vickers and use like a more of a maxed out card, which is quite interesting. Could be a good shout here to really go for the double defence, because obviously I've got Scales as well, whereas don't have Scales as a super rare in season. I was a wee bit worried about him, like eventually maybe getting dropped. So I've got a 12.5 if I can use, although I think probably Carter Vickers would be better using the 15%, which is a really great option to have. Again, really properly tempted by Engels here. Just thinking back to like Champions League games where Matt O'Reilly was doing big scores, really tempting. Kuhn have gotten 14% already, which is mad. People wonder why I'm like leaving out Furuhashi. Well, the thing with Furuhashi is Kuhn, like the weekend, has put in like a 50 odd score with a BCM. Furuhashi's on 27, so it's a real lineup killer that when that happens. It really is quite difficult. I guess if the centre halves get easy possession, then go that way is quite interesting. Again, put a lot of faith in the young man, but it just looks like a baller. Honestly, just looks like a baller. We're going to do the other rare team, and also we'll pick the Real Madrid team, which is interesting. Probably just leave the limited because you've probably got you've got my thoughts on Celtic at this point. You have them. So Kasper Schmeichel, say I picked up another one as well. I can still go double defence here, so I can go Carter Vickers, I can go Alistair Johnson. Again, I could completely ignore Furuhashi and just go with Kuhn and use the other one. But I think that you see his scores there, like, does get some good scores obviously. And then free choice for the last position. Again, I'm probably just going to go with the Celtic stack here. Could be interesting. You could like go with a differential and just chuck in like a Musiala against Dynamo or whatever that is. Half tempting. Or I could leave for a hash out. Because that is where I get a wee bit tempted, right? Because then I could do like this. And that is a bit frightening. Like, because Musiala is going to do some AA, right? You know, against Dynamo, you would have to think he's going to do some AA. And then midfield wise, could still use Engels, going to be a lower down one. Could spread it out a wee bit, go a bit safer with Callum McGregor. Could go with Hatate again. Hatate's a bit more hit or miss. With all the money on offer and with how well McGregor's playing, I think he's going to do that. And then, yeah, I mean, if Celtic do dominate the game, you know, you've got like lots of AA coming in here, Schmeichel, and Musiala doing some business in his playground in the Champions League. Interesting. I wasn't planning on doing that before I put this lineup in, but that kind of makes a lot of sense to me. I guess it takes him out of the classic, etc. But look at the money it's on offer here. Like it's just huge, huge money. So Real Madrid probably going to go full stack here, to be honest. The only problem is the defence a wee bit of an issue. You know, I could just ignore Carvajal and throw in a differential. I'm kind of tempted actually, like, you know, just get Greg Taylor in with Real Madrid. It's like, you know, why not? He's been promoted, he's playing for Real Madrid, he's played with Courtois, Jude Bellingham, Kylian Mbappe, who else? Guller I'm a wee bit tempted by. Rodrigo never started the weekend. Modric, I can actually just the Champions League is this guy's playground, so Vinicius Junior. So there we go. Greg Taylor's won a competition to play with Real Madrid. I don't know about Carvajal. I mean, I'm just worried he's a wee bit of a rotation risk because he played the full game at the weekend. That's my concern about him. You know, I mean, Greg Taylor playing against Slovan at home or Carvajal against Stuttgart, it's quite close scores wise. I mean, Greg Taylor puts in loads of really, really high scores. That's just mad, isn't it? Just looking at Real Madrid stack with Greg Taylor. Fuck it, I don't care. That just makes sense to me. The reason I'm doing that is just because, like, I could play Rudiger actually and put Rodrigo up front, but I think Mbappe and Vinicius just Champions League, like, that just makes like loads of sense. Right, we need to do our Sleepless in Seattle. The other stuff I'll just pick, like obviously off screen, but as I said, remember there is also a classic European Champions competition, and there's an All-Star. So sorry, I've got lots on. I mean, it's like 3 limited entries, 3 rare entries, and again, there's no cash in this, but 3 stars. So the stars, we're talking about Mbappe and Bellingham and Yamal and all that sort of stuff, and boxes as well. So that is absolutely brilliant. So in Challenger, we'll go for Sleepless in Seattle. So we're in Division 3 at the moment. Depending on what happens tonight, we might get promoted, which is really nice. I don't know what's going to happen with Stefan Fry and Andrew Thomas. Like, Fry's still on concussion, but I think that Fry's going to have to come back at some point soon, right? So I guess we'll put him in provisionally. It's going to be tough to pick the teams that are, you know, we're going to start getting some rotations and stuff here. I wonder if Predictor 5 got a predict. There won't be actually, because the game's not even happening tonight. So yeah, there's lots to play for as well. Roldan scores pretty high, so that's interesting. I guess probably less likely that the centre halves get rotated. So Ragin looks as if he's been playing. Yaimar's had a rest in that game there, so play Yaimar. Again, Rusnak could probably be a bit of a risk as well. It's a midweek game, so, you know, MLS, anything could happen. Could play Hani Mukhtar actually. Could play Hani. Really good game last game. Chicago are not really that good. Again, it is a Seattle thing here, but Christian Roldan's interesting. It's just a bit of fun, isn't it? Rusnak. even Jordan Morris, etc., pretty dangerous on the bench. Rothrock's pretty good as well. Jordan Morris. And then I might just chuck in somebody as a differential. Bogus been really good. Yeah, play Hanny. The problem is if I do that, then I don't have him for my Nashville stack. So got Christian Roldan, Alex Roldan. Alex Roldan's a defender. Christian Roldan's a mid. I'll go for Alex. And then we'll go for Rusnak captain. So there we go. It's a bit of fun, isn't it? It was a really, really, really cheap stack to pick. Like, really proper uber cheap. So, bit of fun. So we've done the Mbappe lineup, done Celtic stuff, Real Madrid lineup, Sleepless in Seattle. That's 35 minutes now. It's actually slightly longer than normal. I don't like rabbiting on too much in this, but I just think this is just such a big game week. So, if you do have any entries into the Champions League Classic, even if it's the classic competition, everybody's a wee bit of negativity towards that, but the prizes are so big, it's just worth paying attention, checking your lineups, just do a wee bit of research, think about it. Don't mean to sound patronising there, but I've given you all the information there on the lineups, what are the best matchups. You might not have Bayern Munich players, etc., but I'm sure there'll be some sort of result throughout the game week where somebody puts in a really high score. So I still think Leverkusen will do pretty well away at Feyenoord. Maybe I'll eat my words on that, but they're capable of just playing great football anywhere against anybody. They're just such a good team. Anyways, I'll see you on Tuesday night. We've got some knife edge results at the moment, but we're winning a lot of boxes, so we might get to the 500. So where are we? Essence. We're on 391. Got lots of boxes, so I think we might hit the 500. So that could be the one where we're crafting a tier 1 or a star. So thanks again for watching, everyone. I do apologise about Brighton to Brighton, where we're not getting any glory so far. Mitoma 2 big chances missed. We're in Brighton still, but we're playing next weekend against Nottingham Forest, and we're having lots of fun with it. If you're playing this week, we'll end in customary fashion. We need to do the Mbappe salute. Good luck and go fuck.